going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. So, first off, I want to point this out. This is how committed I am to coming through on my promises to y'all. This is take 2. First take, my microphone died. I was pretty upset about it, but I had to let it go because, it already happened. What can you do? You know what I mean? And not to mention, I'm trying my hardest to not be so quick to anger. Regardless, though, you read the title, you saw the thumbnail. Let's get into it. The PSA AK-103 500 round review. Of course, we are clear. Now, what can I say about this rifle that I haven't said yet? I've talked about the trigger. I believe it has a pretty solid trigger. Again, always double check, make sure you're clear. Right? Pretty solid, right? See, the reset is not too bad. The weight of the trigger, not too bad. Can't remember what I would have guessed the poundage would be off the top of my head. However, what I can say is that, truthfully speaking, this gun is phenomenal to shoot. There is no other way around it. There's no denying it. The proof is in the pudding, guys. If you guys have seen the shorts of me shooting this AK, you guys know I have had a blast shooting it. And it is fun to, oh my goodness, it's fun to shoot. It's easy to shoot. And I can sit here and truthfully say, this is a pretty good buy. If you're considering getting one, I can say it's a pretty good buy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what kind of ammo I ran through it. I didn't really shoot at any crazy distances or anything, especially for a rifle. Anything under 100 yards isn't really a crazy distance. So what I can say, though, is that I put 123 grain, if I'm not mistaken, on the grainage. AAC 7.62x39 ammo through it. Put 500 rounds through it today, or technically yesterday, because it's about 4 a.m., almost 5 a.m. right now. Consecutively, mag dump after mag dump after mag dump after mag dump. And while this thing got hot, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit as well, I can say that it functioned flawlessly. We have had 0 malfunctions in 500 rounds. I mean, what percent is that, guys? That is a 0% failure rate. Now, of course, things can change. I'm going to run different kinds of ammo through it the next time I shoot it, different brands, maybe even cheaper ammo. We're gonna do some more testing with this rifle, and I'll be able to give you guys a 1,000 round update sooner or later. Now, moving on from that, let's go ahead and talk about beyond the reliability during shooting, what issues I might have had just beyond the shooting aspect. I have had a couple of issues where the charging handle has gotten hung up on it. I don't know why. However, what I can say is it was a very easy fix. You either can just rack the charging handle again back more and let go, or or just give it, the good old push forward. You know what I mean? And I've had that issue just simply when racking the gun a little bit. This was before shooting. Since shooting, I have not had the issue. What do you know? Perhaps it needed a little bit of force to it to be reminded who's in charge. Who knows? Maybe it just, I don't know. But what I can say is this thing is freaking dope. Once again, 0 malfunctions of any kind when shooting. No light strikes, no nothing. No issues whatsoever. And also, I can say, out of all the AKs I've shot, I haven't shot a ton of AKs. You know what I mean? Of course, I like AKs more than ARs. That's just my opinion. Shot about roughly 4 or 5 AKs, However, those 4 or 5 were varying in qualities. You know what I mean? One of them was pretty cheap. The other one was, a little higher up there on the tier of, expensiveness or cost, I guess you could say. This is more so, I would say, mid-tier. The PSA AK-103 for being $1,100, you get an FM barrel with it, you get a muzzle brake, you get a pretty solid trigger, you get a very, very easy manual safety to operate. I mean, you know how easy that is to operate, that I don't have to break my firing grip? That's amazing. Most people, when they are operating the safety on their AK, how they will do it is they will break their firing grip to do it and then get their firing grip back. Not with this. You don't have to. Super smooth, super easy to operate. Overall, I can say that it's, while of course not an exact AK-103 clone, and while I like AKs, I can't say that I can't say I've fallen that deep into the rabbit hole of AKs. While not being an exact AK-103 clone, it's probably going to be good enough of an AK-103 clone for you, unless you're a bit more on the autistic side of AKs. Now, one thing I did want to talk about before I go ahead and talk about necessarily how it's shot, as far as like for example, it has a muzzle brake on it, so people are going to wonder, okay, did that really help it shoot a bit more flat? And I'm going to get into that as well. But beforehand, something I kind of touched on, but also didn't, is after about 3-4 mags, this thing got hot. It got hot, boy. Man, this AK-103 got so hot, it was ridiculous. Now, what I can say, and you know what? Actually, I'm going to talk about this. It kind of reminded me of everything. So, you know what? Let me go ahead and bring this up. So, we went to a new range today, me and a couple of friends, right? I was like, hey, y'all first time going shooting with me. Let's go to somewhere new. Let's go ahead and shoot the AK. It's going to be all our first time shooting this gun in particular. Well, we're going to have a good day. And I got to give credit where credit's due to this range, because this range is freaking phenomenal. Not a paid advertisement by any capacity. However, I do have to give credit where credit's due. All American Gunslingers off 19 in Newport Richie. Freaking dope. All American Gunslingers, man, they are awesome there. The only indoor range I can truthfully say where I wasn't getting harassed by the RSOs for my rate of fire, for what kind of guns I was using, for, oh, you need to make sure to sweep up your own brass. I've had no issues with the RSOs. Why? Because the RSOs aren't 60, 70 years old there. I mean, that's pretty helpful. That's, pretty freaking helpful there. I mean, I went in and everybody was in a great mood. That it made it a million times better. They gave me free targets, made it a million times better. They didn't even know that I did YouTube or anything at the time. I mentioned this like after the fact. Who knows? Maybe one of them was already subscribed to my channel, but I really, really highly doubt that, considering I have less than 500 subscribers. So, I mean, I can truthfully say that these are some pretty dope people, and considering I went here just to shoot with some friends and really just put as much ammo as I could through this thing, it really made it more the experience. And I'll be honest, is probably the best indoor gun range I've ever been to. So if you're in Central Florida and the Pasco area, you can check them out. I mean, it's pretty worth it. Now, moving on from that, all right, moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about whether or not I feel the price point for this gun is worth it. And then I also want us to talk about all self-defense situations that would be applicable for this gun. Some of y'all might be wondering, what do you mean however many are applicable? Well, I don't know about you guys. I mean, if you guys know somebody that is, by all means, dude, tell me and I will delete this video, prove it, and I'll delete it. But I don't know anybody who's concealed carrying this. I don't know anybody who's concealed carrying this. Even with, your standard 30-round mag, let's say you don't have a drum mag in it or nothing. I don't know anybody who's concealed carrying this gun. If you know somebody who is, I would be impressed, to say the least. I would honestly be curious as to, like, really what's the largest gun they could carry at that point. If they could conceal carry this, and, the sky's the limit pretty much. But overall, I really don't think concealed carry is going to be a fair situation to throw this gun into the ring with. So as many that are applicable, which is of course going to be home defense, SHTF, and animal defense. Now, moving on from that, right, before I get into those, I want to go ahead and touch into whether I think $1,100 for this gun is worth the price. Honestly, yeah. I mean, so far with my experience with this gun, it definitely is well-functioning gun. That's something that you're going to want, especially if you're dropping $1,100 on a gun. But beyond the reliability aspect of it, it looks really freaking cool. And I mean, once again, this is just beyond reliability. You have durability. Some people might be wondering, well, what's the big difference between reliability and durability? Well, I mean, reliability shows that it will work. Yeah, if I sit here and drop this piece into my hand will reliably catch it, right? Now, if I go ahead and smash my hand up with a hammer, right, break every bone in my hand, and then I'm still able to catch it, a durable hand. You see what I mean? Big difference there. I can truthfully say for $1,100, you're not. It's not a bad purchase. If it's your first AK2, definitely not a bad purchase. You're getting a lot with it. You're getting a muzzle brake. You're getting the FN barrel. I mean, you're getting the reliability of an AK. Not to mention just the look of it. Oh, dude, come on, come on. Let's not sit here and play games and act like this doesn't look freaking sweet. So yeah, I can say for the cost that it was, I would say 100% worth it. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the self-defense situations that are applicable. We're going to start with home defense. Now, if you live in a free state like me, you don't have a magazine capacity issue. So, you get 30 rounds minimum probably. I mean, unless you for some reason go for 20 or 10, which also weird, but hey, you can do that, I guess. I don't know why you would. But 30 rounds, if not more. You can get 50-round drums or 75-round drums. You have a lot of magazine options here. It takes any AK mag. Well, not any, but you guys get what I mean. Any 7.62x39 AK mag. You have a lot of options here when it comes to your capacity. Now, the round 7.62x39, a very capable round, especially at close distances. So home defense, unless you're dealing with like a 3-mile long hallway or something, of course, 3 miles is excessive. In no capacity would a 7.62x39 probably hit, or even if it did do anything. But no, let me go ahead and drop it because that is such a excessively high number here. Let's say you're dealing with, I doubt that you guys have 300-yard hallways. There we are. You see what I mean? I doubt you guys have a 300-yard hallway, a 200-yard hallway. I really doubt you guys have that big of hallways or houses that you're going to worry about 7.62x39 not being capable enough to do its job. Now, next you have the reliability of an AK, which, I mean, if that's not a pro, I don't know what's a pro then. If the reliability of an AK being on your side is not just a huge positive for you, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? When you add all that together, you're getting a pretty solid home defense score. You're getting 9 out of 10. I mean, I think that's a fair number to say here. It's a pretty solid self-defense weapon. It does a pretty good job, extremely reliable. I've ran several, not even just this mag that PSA gave with the gun. I went out and bought just another random AK mag. I don't remember what brand it is. Whoever knows what brand this is, that's what brand it is. I mean, function, no issue. You see what I mean? I mean, I don't know what else you could want. I don't know what else you could want from this gun, especially if you're using it for home defense. I don't know what else you can want. So 9 out of 10 is the score. We're going to go ahead and move on now to SHTF. Now, a lot of people, when they're thinking about SHTF, they're only thinking about having to defend themselves from people, right? And of course, that's something that you are going to have to do in an SHTF situation. No one's taking that away from you. However, what's one thing people always forget about is the fact that when you are in a SHTF situation, the grocery stores will run out of food, guys. You're going to have to hunt. So what does that mean? Chances are a lot of people, they're going to sit there and take their little 22s, hunt squirrels, rabbits, birds, whatever they can hunt with a little 22, they're going to try to do. Okay, that's fine. However, 7.62x39, that will do a much better job at stopping a larger animal, which means you get more food out of it. Hey, who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that a ballistically much better round would, be able to stop larger beings for hunting purposes? Who would have thought, right? Now, just from that simple aspect that people keep forgetting about, 7.62 by 39, it gets a pretty solid score here. The capabilities of the round, once again, the reliability of an AK, the availability of AK parts, AK mags, 7.62 by 39 ammo. It's ridiculous. Honestly, you know what? My original score for an SHTF was going to be an 8.5 out of 10. I'm moving it up to a 9. I'm moving it up to a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for an SHTF situation. This gun is doing pretty damn good. It's getting a pretty good score overall, guys. I mean, one of the only things I could truthfully say that if I would change, if I could change, I would, is simply just how quickly it gets hot. It got so hot that I looked at the RSO and was like, yo, you want to see how hot it got? And he's like, yeah, sure. Touched it with his thumb and he burnt his thumb. Like there's a burn on his thumb now. And I told him, I'm like, yo, I'm not responsible for that, right? And he's like, nah, dude, I did that of my own free will. And I'm like, cool. Just want to make sure that, that's all clear. But besides the point, that's besides the point. Overall, this gun's getting a pretty good score here, 2 9 out of 10s. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to animal defense. Now, animal defense is more of a picky situation here. All right, I just wanted to check the microphone because recently, meaning the last take, I had a history of my microphone dying about 3.5 minutes ago in the video. But back to what I was saying, animal defense, there's a lot of animals that the PSA AK-103 will be able to protect you from. You're looking at obviously all small size animals, a majority, if not all, medium sized animals, depending on what you classify as a medium sized animal, and not a lot, not a majority, but you do get a good amount of large animals that you'll be able to stop too. Now, of course, that is a mixture of the round, the barrel length. I mean, what kind of animal you're dealing with. All of those are varying factors as well. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking in their heads, well, in what situation are you going to be attacked by an animal where, you just have an AK on you? I mean, it depends where you're at. Like, of course, there are people that live in like more, more secluded areas, more wooded areas, or, just areas that are not in the city that they're going to deal with something like bears more likely than not. They're going to deal with moose. They're going to deal with a lot larger animals than we in the city traditionally would. I mean, I'm in Florida, so the largest animal that I've seen just roaming out and about was a gator. You know what I mean? Just walking down the street. I actually saw a gator, odd enough, off topic. I saw a gator go into CVS once. Not walk into the store, but he looked like he was about to go in there and buy something for some reason. I don't know. I'm not. Y'all might be thinking, "Oh, this dude gone crazy." That's 100% truthful too. That's the crazy thing. It's 100% a true story. Off topic though, there are some areas where people are more likely to not see animals like bears, moose, the larger animals than what you would find, say, in Central Florida, so to speak. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to be in those areas, you probably are going to have a gun with you, and you're going to want it to be a gun that can do the job. Some people, they take shotguns with them out in those areas. So, do I think by the furthest stretch of imagination that people aren't taking an AK out there with them? No, I'm pretty sure there are people that are taking AKs out there with them to protect themselves against animals. I've seen an AK drop a bear before. Not a black bear, a grizzly bear. I've seen an AK drop a bear before. Of course, is it your best bet? No. But do I think an animal like an elephant is probably going to be charging at you? Also, probably not. So the chances are you'll be fine with this gun for animal defense. However, of course, it's not going to have the power of something like 308, 30-6, so on and so forth. But I got to give it a score. I think a fair score in this case is going to be an 8.5 out of 10. Now, overall, when you add that up, what are you looking at? You're looking at almost a 90%. I mean, you can't complain with that. I'm sure there's some people who are perfectionists. They're like, hey, I want that everything is a 10 out of 10. That's probably never going to happen, especially considering the self-defense situations I chose are specifically like designed to, kind of get away from each other. Like, for example, what's going to be a 10 out of 10 for concealed carry is probably not going to be a 10 out of 10 for animal defense. You see what I mean? So you're probably not going to find that 10 out of 10 perfectionist. However, close to 90% as the average, that's a pretty good score if you ask me. Overall, I got to give my final opinions. PSA AK-103, good, bad, in the middle, indifferent. How do I feel about it? I'm very impressed. I am very much so impressed. 500 rounds, no malfunctions. I've had zero issues with it. Super fun to shoot, super reliable. I don't know what else you could want from an AK. With that being said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all, and whether or not you agree with me about the PSA AK-103, I don't know how you can disagree with me, considering I'm the one who did not all the shooting. I'll let my friends shoot the AK too. But considering that I've done enough research and testing on this gun right here, I would like to hear why you would disagree with my opinions if you disagree. So go ahead and comment down below whether you agree or disagree, why or why not. Make sure to check out all my other videos. I make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.